Hi everyone and welcome back to Business 100. In this short video, I want to give you an overview of the reports that you're going to be doing. And what you're looking at now is my Canvas homepage. Your homepage should look similar to this. This is our course homepage. And what you'll notice in our introductory unit up here is that I have a page here called Assignment Overview. So let's go ahead and review that for just a moment. And what you've done now are a couple of homework assignments on businesses that are existing out in the business world. You've also been working your way through some of the textbook chapters through our Cengage book, and that's great. What you have coming due now are a couple of reports. We're going to be doing 3 business reports. Now, 2 of those reports, all of the reports focus on your own personal information and ideas. 2 of the reports are specifically on your own business idea. And then report number 2 is really based on your own financial information. So if you ever want an overview of all of the reports that you're going to be doing, here's report 1. Here's report 2, and here's report 3. Now, I've given you some worksheets embedded in the course on each of these, but I just want to give you a brief overview to show you how these reports are connected. And what you're going to see is that if you were to take all of the components of all of these reports and put them all together, you would have essentially the working backbone of a business plan. We're not going to go quite into that much detail. And when you do these reports, I don't expect you to have a business that's up and running. Some of you may already be doing an existing business, but what I want you to do is I want you to think about if you were to go into business for yourself, if you were to be an entrepreneurial spirit or person, what business idea interests you, motivates you? What business might you like to get off the ground? So again, this can be hypothetical. However, having said that, I also want to add that it needs to be doable and sustainable. In other words, you can tell me that you want to put a subway on the planet Mars. That's great, but we don't yet have a colony on Mars, not to the best of my knowledge, and so that's not feasible and sustainable just yet. You can go talk to Elon Musk about that if you want. So you can have a sandwich franchise, you can have a food truck, there's any number of, you can have a coffee house, there's any number of things you can do, but they need to be doable and workable now. But you don't have to actually launch the business. You just have to write the report. So for report number 1, what you're going to do is you're going to come up with a business idea and name. You're going to write a mission statement. You're going to come up with your competitive advantage. You're basically going to walk your report through all of these bullet points. For report number 3, you're going to take the same idea, the same business idea, and you're going to then step it through more components. Now that you understand your business idea, who do you think your target market is? You're going to go into more detail about the demographics and psychographics of that market. You're going to come up with a marketing mix. Now, these components relate to very specific chapters in our textbook. So I recommend that you go ahead and read up on the chapters and then take a look at the reports. So reports 1 and 3 are linked about your own business idea. Report number 2 is the financial component. And again, I don't expect you yet to have a business up and running. Some of you may. But what I do expect you to take a close look at now are your own financials. And so for report number 2, I'm going to have you do a little bit of financial planning. And what you're going to do is you're going to collect data based on your own income and expenses. I've asked you to already start doing that in the course. So you want to collect your own data. What's the money coming in? What's the money going out? Now, given that we're in this odd pandemic situation, everybody's expenses are a little bit different right now. You may not have the same job that you had. You may find that your living situation has changed. That's okay. You still need to be able to track your income and expenses. And you may want to make some footnotes in your report about how those things have changed and how you hope to make them a little bit different moving forward once our economy picks up again. Based on your financial data, you're going to also, so you're going to create an income and expense statement. You're also going to create a balance sheet. And again, there are chapters in the book that will walk you through this. I've given you some worksheets in the course. And then you're going to do some goals planning, short and long-term goals. So basically what I want to know is, and you might want to work this backward. You might want to think, what are my goals? What are my long-term big picture goals? What are my short-term goals? What are the steps that I need to take? And then you can ask the question, how do I fund those goals? And then you can look at your finances and say, oh, wow, there's a gap between what money I have and what I want to do. And that's okay. But you need to have a plan to close that gap. So that's the essence of the report. So again, reports 1 and 3 are on a business idea of your choosing. Report number 2 is your own personal finances. So let's go back out to the home page. That was the assignment overview, and it lives right here in the course introduction. And I want to show you where the assignments are. So in our course, again, you've done the first couple of homeworks. And you'll see where it says collect financial data right here. Go ahead and open that up. And what you'll see is I've given you some guidelines. This is basically what an income and expense statement looks like. I've given you some guidelines for where your money's coming from and where your money is going. These are just some general guidelines. You can make your categories more specific as you need them. All right, so that's financial data. Again, let's go back out. So you should be doing that now, collecting your financial data now. Let's go back out to our home page. Here's report number 1. If you open that up, you'll see that I've given you a little worksheet. This matches what I just showed you in the assignment overview. But this is a little worksheet. You're not just going to answer the bullet points. You actually have to write some narrative description, right? I've given you some suggestions for how to create some tables. So use this little worksheet as a guideline for making the report. And then here's the rubric for how I grade it. You'll notice that the reports are worth more than the homework assignments. They're a little bit more detailed and complex. So that was report number 1. Report number 3 is due at the very end of our term. And again, I've given you a little worksheet. I've given you some guidelines for business report formatting. If you do research, you should include a works cited page. You'll see the prompt, the questions, and the rubric. All right, so that's for reports 1 and 3. Now for report number 2, there are actually 2 pieces to remember to look at. Go back and review this page here, collect financial data, because there's essentially a worksheet in there. And then if you go down here where it says report number 2 is coming due in just about a month for us, so you have plenty of time to collect some data. All right, what this shows you are the instructions. Again, that matches the overview. And then this is a recommended table for how to create your goals. This is a recommended table for how to create a balance sheet. Read the financial chapters in the textbook. There you will find templates in the textbook on how to write an income and expense statement and how to write a balance sheet. They're in my suggested chapters. And then here's a link that takes you back to that page that I just showed you on how to collect financial data. Now I want you to pay attention, because this report is worth a lot. It's worth double what either report 1 or report 3 are worth. This report is worth 100 points, and here's my rubric. The reason it's worth so much is because you're essentially working on it for an extended period of time, and there's a lot of moving parts. So again, over the month, you're going to be collecting your data. You're going to create an income and expense statement. Go back and look at this link here. You're going to create a balance sheet. Use the templates in the textbook. And we're doing this on our personal finances. If you've never taken accounting yet, that's fine. We're not doing business accounting. These are just personal finance documents. But you will need them if you ever go to the bank for a loan. But the key here, what I'm really looking for, is I want you to make the connection between I have money and I have goals, and I need to be able to fund my goals. And so you're going to make that goals worksheet. Here are some questions for you to answer, and you're going to package all of that information into a report. And again, it's worth 100 points, and here's your rubric. If you have questions, go ahead and email me, and I look forward to seeing your work.